You prayed every single day. You begged heaven. You cried at night, whispering those same words over and over again. But nothing changed. The silence became so loud it drowns out everything else. And you start to wonder, does he even hear you? Is he indifferent to your pain? Did you do something wrong? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will change everything you thought about an answered prayer. God's silence is not absence. It's not indifference. And it's certainly not punishment. It's something far deeper than you could have imagined. When heaven is silent, it's easiest to assume that God has turned away, that your prayer got lost somewhere between earth and clouds, that you're not worthy enough for an answer. But that's a lie the enemy whispers in your moment of vulnerability, because the silence of the Most High never means his absence. In the book of Psalms, chapter 22, verse 2, David cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me?" But even in this cry, there is deep truth. David is still calling out to God, even in his moment of despair. He knows who to cry to. Silence doesn't mean the Creator has left. It means he's working in ways your eyes cannot yet see. Sometimes God is silent because your ears are not yet ready to hear what he has to say. Sometimes he delays the answer because the time has not yet come. Not because he's cruel, but because he's wise. He sees the full picture when you see only a fragment. In the Gospel of John, chapter 11, the story of Lazarus is told. Mary and Martha sent an urgent message to Jesus. Their brother was dying. They knew Jesus could heal him with one word. But Jesus did not hurry. He stayed where he was for 2 more days. And Lazarus died. Imagine their pain. Imagine their disappointment. They prayed, they believed, but the answer didn't come in time. At least, that's how it seemed. But when Jesus finally came, he didn't just heal the sick. He raised the dead. The delay was not a denial. It was preparation for a greater miracle. Sometimes God delays the answer to show you his glory in a way you could never have imagined. What you prayed for may be a good thing, but what he's preparing is the best thing. He's not ignoring your prayer. He's transforming it into a miracle. There is an invisible world that many forget about. A world where a battle is fought for every prayer you lift to heaven. In the book of Daniel, chapter 10, verses 12 and 13, an angel comes to Daniel and says something astonishing. Your words were heard from the first day you began to pray, but the prince of the Persian kingdom resisted me 21 days. 21 days Daniel prayed. 21 days it seemed heaven was silent. But in reality, the answer was already on its way. It simply met resistance in the spiritual realm. When your prayer remains unanswered, it doesn't always mean God said no. Sometimes it means there's a war going on. The enemy knows the power of your prayer. He knows what will happen when it gets answered. So he tries to delay, distract, discourage. But if you keep praying, if you keep standing, the breakthrough will come. Because no prayer lifted in faith is ever lost. Sometimes the problem is not that God is not answering. The problem is that his answer doesn't look like you expected. You prayed for one thing, and he gave something else. You asked for changed circumstances, and he changed your heart. You begged for the removal of a problem, and he gave you strength to walk through it. In 2 Corinthians, chapter 12, verses 8 and 9, Apostle Paul pleaded with the Lord 3 times to remove the thorn in his flesh. But God answered, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." This was not the answer Paul wanted to hear, but it was the answer he needed. Because sometimes the Creator does not remove the pain, he uses it to perfect you. Sometimes he doesn't open the door you're asking for, because he's building a new one you haven't even dreamed of. If you're waiting for a specific answer, and you don't see it, maybe God is already answering, just not with the words you expected to hear. Nobody likes to wait, especially when the pain is unbearable. When the situation is urgent, when it feels like every minute of delay is costing you everything. But there is something sacred in waiting, something that cannot be obtained any other way. In Romans chapter 5, verses 3 and 4 it says, "We also glory in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance produces character, and character produces hope." Waiting for God's answer is not empty waste of time. It's formation. In the silence between prayer and answer, God is doing something deep in you. He's strengthening your faith. He's deepening your dependence on Him. He's purifying your motives. He's preparing you for the blessing you're asking for. Because if He gives you the answer before you're ready, it might break you instead of blessing you. He loves you too much to give you what you're not yet ready to carry. This is the hardest to accept. When you prayed with all your heart, when you believed without reservation, when you were certain this was God's will, and then silence comes. Or worse, a clear no, but think about it. How many times have you looked back at what you prayed 4 years ago and felt relief that God didn't give you that? How many times did His no protect you from pain you couldn't foresee? In the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verses 8 and 9, God says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, and your ways are not my ways. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways." He sees what you don't see. He knows what you don't know. And sometimes His greatest mercy is shown in what He doesn't give you. His no is not cruelty. It's protection. Listen to this carefully. No prayer you have ever prayed has been wasted. No tear you shed before heaven has been ignored. No word whispered in despair has gone unheard. In the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 8, golden bowls are described, filled with incense, which are the prayers of the saints. Your prayers are stored, every single one. Even those that seemingly never received an answer, they stand before the throne of the Most High as a sweet fragrance. And in His perfect time, in His perfect way, He will answer. Maybe not how you expected, maybe not when you wanted, but always better than you could have imagined. So don't give up, don't stop praying. Don't let the silence convince you that God is not listening. He hears, He sees, He's moving, and even when you don't see the answer, faith is continuing to believe that He's working behind the scenes. If you're still waiting for an answer, this message is for you. Your prayer is not lost, your faith is not in vain. Your waiting is not empty. God is building something beautiful from your persistence. And when the breakthrough finally comes, and it will come, you'll understand why you had to wait. If this word touched your heart, write in the comments, "I keep believing." And if this message strengthened you, remember to like, subscribe, and share so others can find the strength to keep praying. May the Creator bless you and answer every prayer in His perfect time.